Hi, welcome. I'm Eric Linter, and I'm talking the December stars 2020, the year that just won't quit. And no surprise, December is a very busy month, not as intense as some of the recent weeks we've been through, but I have to say we've got some really profound changes happening in the course of the month. We start off with, on the 1st, Mercury arriving in Sagittarius, where minds tend to become more optimistic, and it's just a natural thing to look up something you may have heard before watching these videos. The first few days are then fairly quiet. Again, we've got this wonderful improved frame of mind with Mercury in Sagittarius. There's a last quarter moon in Virgo on Monday the 7th. And that's in the evening. Quarter moons do tend to bring out some inner unrest and any kind of, shall we say, conflict, contradiction residing in the subconscious is more likely to surface during quarter moon phases. So just be an extra bit more thoughtful and kind, starting with yourself, and especially as you treat other people as well. On Wednesday, which is the 9th of December, the Sun in Sag forms a square with Neptune, the planet of dreams, confusion, and in some cases, deception. So take what you hear with a big grain of salt. Spiritually oriented and artistic souls tend to resonate with the Neptunian vibes, which are very, they're mysterious, but they're also pointing us in this direction of oneness, where we really own the fact that we're really not that different. And in fact, we're connected with everything. Everything alive as well as inanimate has some kind of spirit and life force to it. And these Neptune contexts give us an opportunity to tune to, shall we say, higher frequencies. On the other hand, some people will get lost and will be victimized by their own fantastical thinking. So don't be too gullible. Keep your feet on the ground. And as I say, don't believe everything you hear and these days see, because even video ruled by Neptune can be so easily manipulated, and it is. On the 10th, which is a Thursday, Venus makes a healing sextile with the planet of transformation, Pluto. And this is a boost for all kinds of relationships. It allows for greater intimacy and insight into others. And in terms of sharing and caring, this is a plus day. Energy levels are strong this week. The Sun forms a trine to Mars on the 11th, that's Friday. And again, Mars is tied in with desire, with outrushing energy, a thirst for a life. This is definitely an upbeat day. Much of this energy, though, is actually going to be felt the preceding day, because it's really during the wee hours of the morning here on the east coast of the United States that the trine between the Sun and Mars is exact. The weekend unfolds with Mercury moving through Sag into a square with Neptune that's exact on Sunday the 13th. And here again, the dangers of deception, inclement weather. You want to definitely keep track of what's going on in your area. The storms and flooding and fog, all kinds of dangerous conditions usually occur when Neptune is active. The lunar cycle is winding down until Monday the 14th, when we have the new moon in Sagittarius, which happens to be a solar eclipse. And when we have eclipses, things don't go as planned. You know from listening to my videos that new moons are the cosmic green light, the time to begin new projects. And in a case like this with an eclipse, these carefully planned, well thought out strategies, frequently the rug gets pulled out from under you, and you have to be quick to recognize that the rules have changed, the goalposts have been moved. adapt, adjust during the coming weeks. It's just something we all have to, be aware of. And with this new moon in the sign of politics, law, and religion, there's a good chance that there will be some expose or some information coming to light that's going to be a real eye opener in the next few weeks. Now, the very biggest and I would say most profound change of the month involves two planets, and those are Saturn and Jupiter, which you may recall have been part of a stellium in Capricorn for much of 2020. And on Thursday, the 17th, just after midnight, Saturn will leave Capricorn and move into Aquarius. In the old days, before the discovery of Uranus, Saturn was said to rule Aquarius as well as Capricorn. And the scientific method, shall we say, of creating exhaustive tests and standards for determining whether a fact is a fact, the properties of minerals, whatever, in terms of scientific thinking. Saturn's natural bent towards structure, form, order really fits well with Aquarius. And what I'm saying is there's not going to really be a weakening of Saturn's power, but rather a refocusing. And with Aquarius, we have the sign of community, an awareness of how we fit in and how society around us impacts us. So this again is an emerging focus as we near the end of this year. A couple of days later, on Saturday the 19th, Jupiter follows suit and joins Saturn in Aquarius. And here we've got the planet of faith, trust, optimism, also the planet of travel and learning, again in the sign of community. And in a way, these two heavyweights in Aquarius, I think, are going to help build a greater sense of a global community. And of course, this can start on a much more localized level. All politics are local, yes. But another interesting fact is that when our country was founded on July 4th, 1776, the moon was in Aquarius. And in a national chart, the moon has a great deal to do with we the people. And I think the presence over the next year of Jupiter and the next 2.5 years of Saturn in Aquarius is really going to highlight more and more the will of the people and the needs of the people versus the corporate power structure that has been so much in charge with these planets in Capricorn. Pluto still lags behind. It'll be several more years before Pluto leaves the sign of the goat and moves into Aquarius, but that's a story for another day. Moving on in this busy month. On Monday, the 21st of December, the sun enters Capricorn and winter begins, winter solstice. And as we all know, this is the day with the fewest amounts, the shortest amount of daylight in the entire year. There's another very important event on the 21st, and that is the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius, which is the first degree of the sign. So, again, I think this is a call to thinking people everywhere to actively participate in their community, in their democracy, in their government, and to stand up, for principles that they hold dear. Aquarius is freedom loving. It's a sign that is more egalitarian, more invested in, the welfare of the greater whole than in just being selfish. So it's an interesting exclamation point from the cosmos to see Jupiter and Saturn, two planets essential to business. One is the salesman storyteller, that would be Jupiter, and Saturn is the more pragmatic, do the numbers add up, and how do we delegate these various tasks in order to succeed? It's again a very powerful moment in terms of coming up with plans and strategizing. But as I mentioned, we are dealing with a recent eclipse, so we all have to be quick on our feet and able to adjust as needed. And one of the days that's going to challenge our ability to adapt and adjust is Wednesday, the 23rd of December, when Mars is squaring Pluto. This is a very tough square. It's the god of war at odds with the planet of death and transformation. And it has been seen many times in the charts of, shall we say, competitive souls, military people, professional athletes. Channel this energy carefully. Don't overdo it. Don't bully. The key word in any Pluto alignment, so-called hard or so-called soft, bad, good aspects, Pluto shines when we embrace others in a spirit of cooperation. So see what you can do in terms of putting your head together with somebody else and make things happen. That gets easier over the next couple of days, as on Friday, the 25th, Christmas Day, the holiday spirit really is bursting as 2 o'clock in the morning, Christmas Day, Mercury trines retrograding Uranus. And this just creates a warmth of feeling and friendliness. And it's followed a couple of days later by the Sun also trining Uranus. So basically, the whole weekend is, shall we say, an upbeat, family-friendly vibe. People will definitely want to be on the move, and depending on where you are, that may or may not be advisable. Some free spirits need to restrain themselves. Ordinarily, these would be fabulous travel aspects, but given the realities of 2020, not so fast. Enjoy yourself, but stay safe. I'm a big believer in taking care in these days. The moon is also waxing full now, and the energy is building again, culminating on Tuesday the 29th with the full moon in Cancer. The sun will be at 8 Capricorn, the moon at 8 Cancer. And this is one of those full moons that, in this case does not have an eclipse, but it's a definite exclamation point, not quite capping off the year, because of course we're heading towards New Year's Eve celebrations. And I've never been a Times Square kind of New Year's Eve guy, but I can see there'll be a bit of a thankfulness that we made it this far New Year's Eve, as the moon is opposite Jupiter. And any time is a great time to be giving thanks. But as we head into the new year of 2021, for a variety of reasons, I expect the dynamics to continue to shift and be more user-friendly. So that's going to crown my forecasts for 2020, and I hope you're well. Stay that way, and remember, keep looking up.